You're watching the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand.
Salah to settle it in front of the Kop.
Yes, good morning, happy Friday, and welcome back to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand. It still is. Even after this season, it still is. I can't hear otherwise. But listen, press conference time. Jurgen Klopp, just under 30 minutes ago, has delivered his Kirby AXA training ground press conference, okay? And there's a lot of things to get through. So before we get into them, making sure, please, this close to 31k, make sure you're subscribing if you have not already before we get into this. Like the video, of course. Let's try and get 300 likes on this one, why not? And comment as well, because there's a lot to comment on. Okay, 9:44, the boss arrived just under an hour ago. And again, I'm going to go through the press conference chronologically and fill you in on everything that he said. This is your one-stop shop for everything Klopp. That's quite a good one, that, this morning. Right, on the Robertson incident, of course, we heard that the referee, the fourth official, will not face any further action over the elbow on Robertson last week. He says, I think it has been dealt with really well in the end. I spoke to Robbo, and I think it has been dealt with really well. I mean, that's Klopp's opinion. I think most of Liverpool fans would disagree with that, if I'm honest. We also found out this morning that the same lino had a big involvement with Paul Tierney in sending off Robbo at Tottenham away last season. And again, there was question marks over Harry Kane getting sent off in that game as well. Again, that's going quite deep into it. But listen, if Klopp says it's been dealt with really well, you can trust that Delino and Robbo have had an open dialogue. There's probably a couple of apologies. And that's that. Should it go further than this? I mean, it isn't, but should it have gone further than this? Let me know right now. And on the Bellingham pursuit, Jurgen Klopp comes out and says this. There is nothing to say about it, to be honest. If we don't speak about players we are signing or not signing, why would I talk about it now? It's not about Jude Bellingham. I never understand or understood why we constantly speak about things we theoretically cannot have. You have to realise what you can do. And I hate to say it, guys, but he also said it's about what you can do and work with that. It has always been like this. It's never changed. My answer now is not about Jude Bellingham. I never understand why we theoretically talk about things that we can never have, like 6 players in the summer for £100 million each. You have to work with what you have. You wouldn't say as a 5-year-old at Christmas you want a Ferrari, but whatever we need and want, we try absolutely everything to get it. But there are moments when you have to accept it's not possible and step aside and do different stuff. Now, in the last video, I asked you which percentile you were in. Are you the 10% of Liverpool fans that think he's too expensive, he's not worth the money anyway? Are you the 30% that think this is all a marketing ploy? Or are you the 60% that thinks this is fully gone? Now, this deal was gone. Klopp physically, literally said, sometimes you have to accept it's not possible and step aside and do different stuff. To me, guys, sadly, he's ruled us out there. He has ruled us out of that one. So again, listen, I've done the video about it yesterday or the day before. Go back and watch that. But again, let me know what you think to Klopp's latest quotes, because I did say in that last video, let's just wait and see what Klopp says in his next press conference. And there you've just seen what he said. It's not possible to step aside and do different stuff. Still can't get over that one, if I'm honest. It still hurts. But anyway, let's move on. What does Klopp expect at Ellen Road on Monday night? He expects a big fight, a massive fight. It's a really good team. We expect them to be on their toes, a proper atmosphere. They need a proper atmosphere after losing 5-1 at home to Crystal Palace in the last game. And of course, you know, they're fighting for their lives at the bottom of the table. So Liverpool have no excuse not to turn up in this one, considering Thiago will be back and everything else. He also talks about the aims for the end of the season, which would obviously be boosted if we do win that game on Monday night. But he says we have nothing to lose, really. We're in a positive in the table. We are in a positive in the table, and we don't want to be. We have to fight for things. The things we tried this season didn't work out properly, consistently. Again, very far away from the top 4. It's very unlikely that Liverpool will get there, but I guess a win on Monday does nothing but maybe fuel those talks a little bit more. But again, I'm not expecting much now for the end of the season. But again, he says we've got nothing to lose, which I kind of agree with. I mean, mathematically, the top 4 is still on, but we'd have to rely on a hell of a lot of other games going our way. I mean, last night we saw Varane, we saw Martinez sadly get injured. It looks like a really bad one for Martinez especially. I mean, where were United players helping him off? Why was it the Sevilla players helping him off the pitch? I know they're Argentinian teammates, and I hear that, I respect that. But I'd be embarrassed if I was a United player and I wasn't helping him get off the pitch. I mean, crazy to see that, by the way. But again, we have to rely on United, Tottenham, Newcastle all dropping points, which again I don't think it's going to happen, but there you go. On Trent's recent change of position, he says it is a possibility for us. We have done it before. Moments in the game versus Arsenal, it happened much more often as we wanted it to happen more often. We also have to see who it fits in with other games. Sometimes we can do it, sometimes not. For him it was good, of course, talking about Trent playing in midfield. He also confirms 100% ready. Luchito Diaz, la vuelta, vamos. It literally feels like this is a new signing. It feels like we've not even seen him play this season. I mean, up until he got injured, he was one of our best players for sure. But Klopp says today, again, less than an hour ago, he says he is 100% ready in training, is completely ready. Now we have to reintegrate. He will be in the squad unless something happens. He also says, Thiago, super important. Thiago is a candidate for starting top rhythm. Again, in an ideal world, Thiago does start every game, but the world isn't ideal and Thiago gets injured all the time. So let's just hope, touch wood, and pray that Thiago stays fit and can put a run together, because obviously with him in the team, we're a much better team than a team without him, for sure. He also goes on to say that Ibu Konate, who had a great game against Arsenal, couldn't train for 2 days. He will train today, though. Ali couldn't be involved, but should be back today. There's a little bit of illness, and here's a little bit of injury there. So hopefully, I mean, considering Klopp likes 3 days to train, you've got today, which is a Friday. You've got tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. So hopefully Ibu plays on Monday night. He goes on to talk about the failure since the United thrashing. He goes, interesting this, and I actually agree with him. He says, after the 7-0, I'm not really sure you can learn how to deal with it. Winning 2-0 5 times in a row is much better, he says. We didn't think we were the greatest because we beat United with a crazy result. He also goes on to say some nice words about Arsenal. He says, Klopp says Arsenal's minute silence in memory of the Hillsborough disaster last Sunday was probably the most respectful minute silence I've ever heard. And totally, I'd agree with him. We spoke about that after the game, didn't we? But listen, he's explained the transfer decision behind Bellingham. I also heard someone tell me last night that there's a chance that he stays for a year at Dortmund, signs a new deal, stays for a year, and then they put a release clause in, and then he joins Liverpool next year. Again, rumours, myths. I don't know what to believe anymore. I mean, I'm still hopeful, of course. Maybe I mean, I say that it's 1 or 2% at the max. But again, after Klopp has today said, and I will just read it out to you again, just to ease you away from this story now. He says, you wouldn't say as a 5-year-old at Christmas you want a Ferrari, you have to work with what you have, which we've heard that so many times, and it is frustrating to hear that, if I'm honest. But whatever we need and want, we try absolutely everything to get it. But sometimes you have to step aside and do different stuff. To me, that confirms it, people. Doesn't look like we're getting Jude Bellingham. But anyway, there is your press conference reaction. Every Friday, Jurgen Klopp does these at the AXA in Kirby in Liverpool. So really looking forward to watching the boys go away to Leeds on Monday night, which of course will be a tough game. But we will have a very in-depth preview for you tomorrow morning around 11 a.m. with myself and, of course, James Toon, the craziest Leeds fan I've ever met in my life. but we've got to get him on the channel. I don't think he's actually been on before, but I'm on DR Sports with him all the time. So there you go, guys. Let me know in the comments how you feel about this one. Don't forget, Monday night will be in Jurgen's. Preview tomorrow morning. Monday night will be in Jurgen's with the match day vlog and fan cams, myself and Mario and the rest. And then obviously Tuesday morning we head back into hot topics. So again, get your hot topics in for us now so we can discuss them on Tuesday. And of course, as always, the link for the Discord is in the description now, people. There's a really strong community of us in that Discord, in the Kop TV official Discord. So looking forward to seeing you carry on all the chat in thereafter. But until tomorrow, I'll see you soon. Take care. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.
Please, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Kop TV.
The voice of football's most famous stand.